My name is Paul Staharzik. I'm the Senior Vice President, Chief Operating Officer of TFC Recycling. We are the largest recycling company in the Mid-Atlantic region. We process roughly about 10,000, 12,000 tons a month per recycling materials. We run out a neighborhood of about 135 trucks, of which about, I believe, 35 to 40 of them are natural gas trucks. TFC's commitment to CNG technology has made us a better community partner. Replacing one diesel truck with one CNG truck is the equivalent of taking 300 cars off of the street. We are collecting material from residents every day. We are collecting material from commercial accounts every day. We are shipping product to the ports every day. The one thing that I don't have to worry about is how well those trucks are going to run because we're using the Dello product.
My boss really appreciates when we can get the longest life possible out of these trucks, and the Dello family of products helps me get that. Since we switched over to Dello 400, we haven't had any engine failures that were related to lubricants.
I'm Sean Whitaker, Senior Staff Engineer for Heavy Duty Motor Oils at Chevron Lubricants. And we're here in Chesapeake, Virginia at TFC Recycling inspecting a Cummins ISLG compressed natural gas engine rated at 320 horsepower, utilizing Chevron's Dello 400 NG15W40 and Dello extended life coolant for nearly 8,000 hours of its entire 3 years in operation. Dello 400 NG is a low ash engine oil specially formulated for use in mobile natural gas engines like this one to provide superior protection against deposit buildup, oxidation, and valve train wear.
Currently, we're doing a 400-hour change on our oils. We had a test unit that we were running Dello 400 NG. We pushed it out to 1,000 hours. Getting 1,000 hours on your oil before changes is not recommended to most manufacturers, but we did it just as a trial. And the oil was still clean as if it was new.
Dello 400 NG is a low-ash natural gas engine oil which is formulated specifically to prevent ash buildup in the fire deck. As we look here, these valves are completely free of deposits such that they can open and close freely. If they were to form significant deposits, that could prevent their sealing and eventually they could drop out of the head and lead to a catastrophic engine failure. We're now looking at the tulip of the valve, which is obviously free of deposits and allowing a good combustion seal between the overhead and the combustion chamber. The Dello 400 NG15W40 is doing an excellent job. Dello 400 NG has been formulated with optimal valve train protection in mind, with particular emphasis on the cam and tappet interface in these Cummins mid-range engines. We can see here that the cam is in excellent shape after 8,000 hours, just some light polishing, no obvious wear. Same thing on the tappets themselves that contact the cam, very smooth surface, no obvious distress to the tappet on either surface, either the part that contacts the cam or in the socket region that interfaces with the push tubes. The overhead components are also showing excellent condition for this amount of mileage. The wear surfaces are just lightly polished with no obvious wear step. And the push tubes themselves are in excellent condition, both on the socket side and the ball side for this amount of hours.
It looks pretty good to you, sir.
We're now looking at the loaded and unloaded section of the main bearings, and it's obvious that Dello 400 NG is providing excellent lubrication to the bottom end of this engine. There's no overlay removal and no obvious copper exposure on these main bearings. We're now examining the power cylinder assembly, and it's obvious that Dello 400 NG is providing excellent protection and deposit control to this engine. We first look at the underside of the piston. It's free of deposits or varnish formation. Then we'll look at the top side, the combustion face, which is again free of deposit and ash accumulation. We also look at the ring lands, no visible deposits, no significant deposits on the top land or the second land. Behind the rings, we see no evidence of deposit formation, showing that Dello 400 NG is doing its job and providing excellent piston deposit control. We're now examining the power cylinder components, and we've sectioned a couple of the liners so that we can see inside. Dello 400 NG is providing excellent wear protection to the ring and liner interface. As you can see here, there's a full crosshatch and no wear step. That shows that we're maintaining good oil consumption control and frictional characteristics to allow the engine to make full power.
Several thousand stops a day is hard on a vehicle, and that's why we're a severe duty industry. We switched over to the ELC, which is the Dello product that we chose for our coolant. It's been fantastic because we're required to have about a 10 or 12% more cooling efficiency in those engines because they run hotter. It caused us to have less failures on water pumps, less failures on radiators.
This automated side loader has been in operation for nearly 3 years and almost 8,000 hours of service here in coastal Virginia, where summertime temperatures can exceed 100 degrees and in the winter get well below freezing. Dello ELC is counted on to provide that all-weather coverage and keep these engines in operation. As you can see, the outside of the liner, there's no obvious pitting or corrosion. We look at the water pump and the thermostat housing, they're both in excellent condition. No wear on the vanes, no deposits forming on the vanes or on the shaft. Thermostat is also free of debris and any deposit formation and operating as intended. We'll also look at the inside of the radiator passages. They're free from deposit, allowing coolant to freely flow and allow heat exchange to be conducted most efficiently. Dello Extended Life Coolant is providing excellent protection to this engine and its components.
It's critical for us to have our trucks up running all the time. The people depend on us, and we depend on our trucks.
We are committed to using the Dello product. It is a fabulous product. We are tremendously pleased with the results. The lack of wear and tear on the parts, the lack of residue on the parts was just much better than I had anticipated.
Our inspection has shown that the combination of the Cummins ISLG natural gas engine utilizing Dello 400 NG and Dello Extended Life Coolant has helped TFC Recycling lower their total cost of operation by improving their reliability and uptime and minimizing their total operational costs.
Dello helps my fleet go further.